Oh, get used to it, man. Get used to it. Oh, no. As spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Emerald City, we have our red duo. We have our red duo here. We have Spirit and MaxPax, the reigning and only uThermal 2v2 champions. Reigning champions, and spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have their opponents. We have, for the first time in the grand finals, we have the Team Liquid duo of SKillous and Elazer. Let's go. They've made it here for the first time. Again, so far for the month of January and for the month of February, it's been purely Spirit versus Max, or Spirit and MaxPax up against Clem and Trigger. You know, month after month after month, that has been the pairing here of the finals. But not this time. Not this time. Instead, we have SKillous and Elazer rising up for the first time in the finals. And we'll see if they can be the answer to the problem that is MaxPax and Spirit. We shall see. Now MaxPax does move out, going for his probe scouts. Unlike the previous setup, when more known for greed here, it is going to be hatch gas pool, standard opener out of Elazer. He does not open up gasless, thankfully. Has been known to, but not this time. Likewise, we do see a Skillous just opening up gate expand. So economic opener out of Skillous, more standard opener out of Elazer. Likewise across the map, nothing too crazy either. We have almost mirrored builds, where MaxPax also does open gate expand into Cybercore. Our Spirit, he's going to be delayed at least for a second. He's delayed for a moment. Outside of that, we're building up and getting into Emerald City again. I feel like this map has been in the 2v2 ladder map pool for many years. I want to say like at least like maybe 6+ years. It's hard to say, but it has been in the map pool for a very long time. I think I remember playing on Emerald City again, like before we even started casting on the CranKy Ducklings. It's crazy. Old map. Still around, still solid, true. Shared main, shared natural. Behind this, we do have our bio setup out of Spirit. Thankfully, I was curious if it was going to be mech. I would not be surprised if at one point we see Skytoss on mech out of MaxPax and Spirit, but here we have a second Rax on the way. It's going to be a 2-on-1 out of Spirit. Interesting. Going to be a stim timing. Stim timing out of our Terran player. Meanwhile, Stargate opener out of MaxPax into Oracle, into scouting across the map. Whether this leads into Skytoss, yet to be determined, but the Oracle opener is standard. Oh. As we do try to catch up the Adept, but Spirit's back at home. He is going to be opening up, not for an add-on swap, he's going tank first. Okay. So typically what we'd be seeing here is you get the tech lab, then you go for an add-on swap, and you rush into stim, right? It would mean faster stim here, and then you use the factory to make a reactor and go for an add-on swap into medevac production. But here he's going into early tanks. Meanwhile, second Stargate, Mass Phoenix. So it is going to be Mass Phoenix here by MaxPax. Again, Mass Phoenix is definitely viable and is a go-to build. Mass Phoenix was weakened just because of the most recent change, as we mentioned before, when it comes to the mod that we're using, where players cannot trade resources for an extra couple of minutes. As MaxPax, he was a purveyor of Mass Phoenix previously, being fed by Spirit. But less so here. In March. Stasis is denied. Adept station into the mineral line. Elazer, he does defend. He defends, he holds on. Third base getting saturated. Third base now on the way for skills as well. They do hold, and they've yet to really confirm what's going on. Checking the vision here, they have not gone into the main base. They have not seen the Mass Phoenix. Not yet. But looks like Spirit, his initial tank opener here is just for safety. Just initially a safety precaution. Likewise, third base is on the way. Burst slowly expanding. MaxPax still building up his Phoenixes. As he now does get across the map. Gets into the mineral line. Picks off what? Picks off 2 drones. Overlord as well, not bad. Not a bad start. As MaxPax, he pokes in. Oh, this is the stasis. No major damage yet here, just a couple of drones here and there, just keeping, more importantly, the duo contained, right? Like Team Liquid, SKillous Elazer, they're just stuck back at home, stuck being contained, trying to keep up, and this is allowing them to expand, allowing MaxPax and Spirit to take their third bases, to get fully saturated. They're maintaining their map control. Spirit soon taking his own third, just waiting for the CC. And this naturally leads into Skytoss, into Carrier Tempest. So third Stargate's on the way for MaxPax. Really, we're waiting for the Fleet Beacon. Let's get another Overlord. Spire is on the way for a laser, working towards his own Corruptors. That'll be his answer here to the Skytoss of MaxPax. You know, SKillous going for a ground army, going for Temple Archives and Robo. So into Archons and Storm. Stalkers are going to get shut down. There's no shield battery. Yeah, there's no support. So better trades from MaxPax, at least initially. Once again, he pulls out. Does pull out. There it is. Fleet Beacon's on the way. The first sign of Skytoss. Carriers and Tempest, they're on the way. And again, Skytoss is the ideal in 2v2. I mean, in general here. To mass up and get to that late game composition. Phoenix once again, they throw in another dive. And as we mentioned in the previous series with Cyril and Zugelang, just whoever spawns in on the right is just the most exposed. So Elazer has been bullied quite a bit. I say that on MaxPax, he does dive further into the mineral line. Is going for SKillous. Does get a good amount of workers. Meanwhile, Spirit, he's finally being active himself. He gets a mineral line. Oh my god, the drones go down. And potentially the expansion, it gets low. Ooh, takes down a prism. Takes down a prism, takes down a mineral line. Meanwhile, I assumed it was going to be into carrier production, but no, it's going to be into Void Ray, and that is to help counter the Corruptors. True. Corruptors are building up. That's where Void Rays are required. So now we have Maxis going into Mass Void Ray. Oh, it's 2021 all over again. Let's go. I know. All the Void Rays. Ooh, as the Marines do catch out some of those Corruptors. Corruptors are spotted, they are confirmed. MaxPax, he races back, so does Spirit. Both players somewhat out of position. But they keep up. Just back to Corruptors. The tank line is in position. And as they're ready, Spirit, he counterattacks, he takes down the expansion, takes down the gold. Gold does fall. Escapes with those Marines. Corruptor's still looking for a way in. I believe there's no hive for a laser, so there's no Vipers. The Skills does dive forward into tank fire. It's not going to work out well here. The Stalkers, they get annihilated. Marines, they go to town. And Skills, he will lose everything here. He does reinforce with more Zealots. Trying to get on top of those tanks. It's getting close, actually. The tanks are falling. Barely falling one after the other. Likewise, MaxPax is being zoned all the way back, being forced back by those Corruptors. And Skillous, he breaks through. He gets into the mineral line. SCVs are going down. It's still a battle here between the air units. And all this does really is just buy time for Skills to pop off. And he barely did. Takes down the center expansion, going for the northern base. Corruptors, they distract Spirit. And this mineral line, it's going to go down. Not a bad assault. I mean, it was costly, don't get me wrong. It was quite costly. Did take skills a lot of stalkers to break through that. Where he takes down the expansion, now takes down a second base. SKillous Elazer, they have momentum. Nice low zone. There's the cloak as well. Raptors, they dive in, they go for the dive, they go for the mothership. A mothership is eventually going to go down, but that's a rough trade for Elazer. Meanwhile, the charge, they just snowball out of control. Yeah, they dive on the Marines, they dive on the Biozelts, they peel off into the mineral line. SCV is going to be going down. With that in the end, Spirit and MaxPax, they do barely hold on. MaxPax is on 3 bases, Spirit on 2. But behind this, what's important here is the economies. SKillous and Elazer, they have bases, they have mineral lines, they have a proper saturation. They can rebuild. They can rebuild, they can remax. SKillous and Elazer, they're in the driver's seat. MaxPax down to how many? Jeez, 8. That's still a lot of void rays. 8 void rays. Making 3 void rays at a time. Getting a 4th Stargate. Yeah, they're still in this game. Very messy here. But again, it feels like Spirit, he's not really able to achieve too much here when it comes to supporting the army. He's got a handful of tanks, got a handful of Marines. Getting caught out. Slings are deflected. Prism into the main. Gonna be targeting Spirit. Spirit bleeding out his entire mineral line. SCVs are going down. Spirit trying to hold on. No splash damage for Skillous, no Storm. No Storm, just a Gateway Army. Now we see Skillous going to Colossus production. I guess that'll do it, sure. Colossus on the way. Let's go. And Elazer, he's still pure Corruptor. That's all he has, and a handful of Lings. 31's gonna be 35 Corruptors. Oh, who needs Vipers? Just mass Corruptor, let's go. I mean, Vipers would help, don't get me wrong. Infestation is still on the way for the Hive. It's a very late Hive here for Elazer. And again, Elazer and Skillous are going to be the first to max. Spirit is lagging behind. And we'll see how the Mass Void Ray works out here for MaxPax. I do favor him in a head-on fight, that is true, but once spellcasters get involved, that's where Void Rays can struggle. I'm referring to Fungals, I'm referring to Parasitic Bombs, Archons to support as well. Void Rays, they have their weaknesses. Now Elazer catching out Metamax. Fighting against the army. Ideally does want to fight with that Archon support. Ideally. Slings are deflected. Still looking for a way in. Oh! Gets another Void Ray. Oh god, as we do miss rally, Colossus goes down. That's actually a pretty big pick-off. Colossus does fall. Corruptors, they do catch at the mothership. But we built up still towards 3 Colossus. The Mass Marine cannot break through this. And it's only purely Marine. Corruptors, oh god, they have to respect the bio. It's a lot of anti-air. They have to respect the Void Rays. So Corruptors are zoned away. Now collapsing in, prismatic alignment now on cooldown. Oh my god, as they focus down the Colossus so fast, so quick. And Spritty stims in, Dustin forward, takes down the final Colossus. There's still one left behind this, still one remaining. And the Marines, they go down one after the other. They'll say overwhelm, and with that SKillous Elazer, they do it. They take down the army. GG gets called. And SKillous Elazer, Team Liquid, they take game number 1. Whew, GG. GG, well played. Oh my god, again, very nice control towards the end by SKillous, preserving that Colossus, keeping it alive, juggling it with, of course, that War Prism. He was able to, with that, shut down the Marine count, shut down the Bio Army. Because that Spirit, he wasn't really too much of a factor supporting the Skytoss composition of MaxPax. He was hoping that his Mass Marine would be enough, but it was such a fragile army, such a fragile unit composition, and it got completely shut down. With the death of those Marines, that was the death of everything else. GG. GG, well played, as SKillous Elazer, they take a lead. They do take a lead, and now we are jumping into game number 2. Likewise, they also had a very assertive start. If you remember, they were able to break the low ground, break the third base. It was a very intense start to the game, or very intense mid-game. It did go their way. They did gain momentum. They were able to be the first to max out as well. And now we're getting into game number 2. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Yellow Jacket, we have our Team Liquid representatives. We have our Protoss, we have our Zerg. It is SKillous and Elazer. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have their opponents. We have the blue team, the blue duo, the reigning champions and the only champions in the uThermal 2v2 circuit. It is MaxPax and Spirit. Here we go. And welcome one and all to Yellow Jackets. Yellow Jackets, we actually haven't featured this map yet at this broadcast until the finals. It is a bit of a smaller map. The rush distance by ground is shorter from third base to third base. Bear that in mind, so it can lead to more aggression. We actually haven't seen too much late game on Yellow Jackets. We'll see how aggressive our players plan on being here. As for now, we're probe scouting. So far. Hatch first out of Elazer. Last game, Elazer didn't go gasless, but he may decide to do so here in game 2. No, never mind. Hatch gas pool. Hatch gas pool out of Elazer. SKillous going gate expand. So economic openers out of our red team, out of Team Liquid. SKillous going for MaxPax going for a slightly later expansion, later Nexus. Spirit going Rax expand as well, going for a CC on the low ground. We'll be able to take it. SKillous just being as annoying as possible. He will delay by a second or two, just by a second. Just catching up. Live, this is a replay cast from a couple of days ago. Again, just to reiterate, we were adminning the event at the time. Because we were adminning, we weren't able to cast it. We weren't able to cast it live, but we're able to cast it now. So this was from a couple of days ago. As we're here in the grand finals, we have our best of 5. Again, Spirit and MaxPax are still the favorite of players coming into this, but so far they start things off with a loss. SKillous and Elazer, can they accomplish what Clem and Trigger could not? Can they stop the reign of terror of Spirit and MaxPax? As Reaper does poke in. No kills, no losses. SKillous, he's there for his boy. Does protect the natural. Oh. As Reaper will deny things. Oh god! Will deny, will not get a kill, just barely not. As he does arrive as well. Elazer's third base is going to be delayed. We have our tech of choice, going to be a Stargate opener out of MaxPax. Third base is barely going to be taken in time. Whew. With that, Elazer will expand Oracle opener here out of our blue Protoss player. Meanwhile, SKillous going to be opening up Twilight Council into Blink instead. Interesting. So once again, we have varying openers here. MaxPax Stargate into Oracle, SKillous, Twilight Council into most likely Blink. There we go. Blink is on the way. Elazer just joining up, just saturating. No tech choice yet. Once again, Reaper goes down. But once again, the Spirit, he is not going for a second factory. He's not playing mech. He's going into, this time, a 3cc 2-1-1. Interesting. Last game, we saw a straight up 2-on-1 going into tank production, into a stim timing, into bio. This time, very fast third TC. So a much greedier build here by Spirit. Much greedier. That dips in, gets a couple of drone kills, gets 3 so far. Does get 3 workers. As the laser does fan out. There it is. Oh. Does fan out. Skill's going to be rotating. Trying to catch out that initial Oracle. And, ooh, we do have a Dark Shrine on the way. Okay. So just setting things up. But we do have a Dark Shrine. And with this, we're going to be settling into DTs. Elazer comes in with a scout, and Elazer, he will get eyes on the Twilight Council, but won't get eyes on the further attack. Should be denied as Stalkers are in position, and Stalkers, they will shut down the Overseer. The Overseer is shut down. Likewise, Spirit fanning out. Players are building up, and there shouldn't really be too much damage because of the Oracle opener. They're already spores, right? There are already spores in position. SKillous is more exposed. Thankfully, he does have a robo. He does have the observer on the way, so he will have access to detection. Dark Templar have potential, but we'll see if both SKillous and Elazer can keep up. So building up our forces. Also, I should note that this time we don't have double Stargate into Mass Phoenix. This time we have a ground composition out of MaxPax going into charge dots into eventually, I would imagine, Archons as well. Stasis goes off. SKillous getting caught out. Things they poke in, but alas, MaxPax is in position. Likewise, MaxPax trying to catch out this army. Yes, Spirit stimming forward. And SKillous, he's going to try to escape. Ooh, does bait at the stasis. Nice moves. Leaves out only one Stalker. Okay, very nice engage here from SKillous. Does recover. Oh, no! Not again! Oh, takes another stasis. Another stasis goes off. Elazer, he will delay the 4th. He'll delay. And we're just building up. At this point, MaxPax and Spirit, they're focusing on the defensive back at home. We do see a Spirit getting into Bio Tank, which is what we saw him attempt to get into last game. And we do see MaxPax just confirming his own gateway composition. Meanwhile, we have Lurkers. Elazer, he does rush into Lurker Tech, so Ling into Hydra Lurker Tech. No Hive, no Vipers. Oh, sorry, there is a Hive, no Vipers yet, though. Just Ling, Hydra Lurker. Likewise, SKillous going into Colossus. So we have our tech pods. Yo, Blink on the way for the DTs. Love to see it. Just on the way. Lurkers, 8 power in time. They punish the Blink. Spirit, he tries to engage. Pushing into Lurkers, pushing into Colossus. And Spirit, he cannot push in. He gets punished. Oof. So the SKillous. As he cannot blink forward. And with the revelation of these Lurkers, we should be taking up. We do see that MaxPax, he's not going for Sky Toss. That's kind of the direction that I was leaning towards, but no, we see a second Robo and a Bang on the way, getting into his own Colossus and Destructor production as well. Interesting. Lurkers looking a bit exposed. Blaze has to back up. So far, no major engagements. Players just posturing, some harass going up. Players are keeping up. Currently, I do favor our red team here in a head-on engagement, but that's only because MaxPax is not with the main army. I mean, he does have his Stalkers coming in, but there's no Chargers here to support. Oh! Picks up a Lurker, not bad. Meanwhile, I was curious, we do have a drop into the main. Yeah, DT's into the main base of SKillous, Marines into the main of Elazer, going for the tech, going for the Lurker Den. That's going to be a massive snipe, denies the upgrade. Yeah, upgrades are denied. Boost the hell out of there. Very nice snipe. And SKillous and Elazer just being pulled apart. Lurker's not in position. Elazer did overreact to that drop into the main. Light was collapsing on those tanks. Oh, the tank cannon's going to be reset. True. Spirit, he bleeds out most of his army. SKillous has those 3 Colossus. Elazer, he defends back at home, and SKillous is pushing in. He's moving forward, takes down the Disruptor. We'll take an EMP to the face. But can SKillous keep going? Well, without any tanks, he can. Can keep pushing in. Knocks down the depots, getting into the mineral line. Hydras, they arrive to reinforce. Nice EMP. But where's the follow-up? Yeah, Ghosts are being targeted down. Never goes off. Oh, nice connection. Very nice connection. They pop up against the Stalkers. But that might just be too much. SKillous and Elazer, can they break through? Viper goes down. That's an expensive pickup. Yeah, doesn't get a spell off, doesn't get an abduction. Viper does fall, the expansion goes down. Spirit, he's in trouble. At the same time, Zelarama is catching reinforcements. And from here, they're going to have to rotate out. Oh no! Oh my god, not quite paying attention. Massive connection. Nice match, catching SKillous off guard. Does catch him off guard. DTs, they do engage, they do survive. Likewise, Colossus, they're getting attacked from behind. How about SKillous? He should be, he does maintain himself. There are a couple Lurkers for support. He blinks in. He gets 1, he gets 2, but he takes the Nervous to the face. Oh my god. Not worth it. So many Stalkers go down. Again, MaxPax, he's holding his own. At the same time, massive counterattack. Spirit takes down a base. A lot of action all over the place, a lot of chaos. Spirit catching at the Lurkers. Gets 1. Takes down a Lurker. Spirit, he's running out of steam across the map. He cannot keep pushing in. Oh, we'll lose a full Prism. Prism goes down, and SKillous has to recall the hell out of here. But he does get away. Just barely recall back home. And again, the non-stop aggression, the non-stop counterattack. Spirit, he's doing it. He's catching so many Lurkers. Oh my god. Gets so many of them. Doesn't get them all. Yeah, but all this aggression, all this harassment, it's taking its toll. Elazer losing a mineral line, losing an expansion. Drop into the main, losing another mineral line as well. Elazer losing far too much. And likewise, SKillous, he lost most of his main army. Yeah, the comeback is real. MaxPax and Spirit, they were up against the wall. They were in a very rough position. But they have recovered. Spirit and MaxPax, they're back in this game. And they're looking to win it. Another hatchery. Jumping on the Lurkers, let's go. Crazy move. Does barely bring them down. Very risky maneuver. Does shut them down. Likewise, while SKillous is distracted, MaxPax moves in, going for another expansion. Catching another Lurker. Yes, Novas, they are connecting. Oh my god. Brutal connections on the Lurkers, on the Lings. Very efficient trades. The Lings, they will try to clean this up, but the Novas are insane. They catch almost every Lurker. Crazy. Crazy Novas. And as both SKillous and Elazer try to deal with MaxPax, there's an opening. There's an opening on the left-hand side. Spirit, he goes right through the central, right through the left, through the flank. Takes down the Nexus. Takes down the expansion. He has too much. He just has too much to handle here. SKillous, he cannot defend. Not with reinforcements. Not with warp-ins. The base goes down. Still has top left, I believe, unscouted. Yeah, unscouted here by Spirit. They haven't seen the expansion. So Elazer, he's barely maintaining himself. SKillous even. But he's gonna lose everything. Oh, the miss rally, no! Miss rally, loses 2 Colossus. Brutal losses here. Brutal losses for SKillous. He cannot afford this. And both Spirit and MaxPax, they've done it. They have done it. Again, they've just pulled the Team Liquid duo apart, left and right, taking down base after base, mineral line after mineral line. It was a rough start, though. Again, SKillous and Elazer, they were ahead. They were doing so well initially. And then the counterattacks, then the run-bys, and the drop play all happened all at once, and suddenly, yeah, they'll lose everything. GG gets called. SKillous taps out, Elazer taps out, and Spirit and MaxPax, they tab the series 1-1. GG. They tie the series up. We have a back and forth. We have a back and forth here. We're getting into game 3. And again, this is the best of 5, so not quite the ace match yet. We still have more games ahead of us. But that was, yeah, very intense. That was a very intense game. Shout out to Elazer and SKillous. Again, they had a lot of momentum early on. They were taking down bases, taking down mineral lines. They were punishing Spirit. But Spirit, he was unrelenting when it came to his counterattacks, when it came to his drops. MaxPax as well. They did a great job bouncing back, and with that, SKillous and Elazer, they were just having a really hard time defending as they were being aggressive. They bled out too much. And now we're getting into game number 3. And spawning in the top left-hand corner. In the top left-hand corner of Reclamation, we have our red duo. We have our Zerg, we have our Protoss. We have SKillous alongside Elazer. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have their opponents. We have the blue duo, the reigning champions. We have Spirit and MaxPax. We go. As we load into a map that we are much more familiar with, Reclamation, we have a shared natural. We have separate main bases, that is true, but we have a shared natural and a shared ramp as well, so you can be quite defensive here, can be difficult to break. And we'll see how our players adjust. I appreciate that we have seen something different out of MaxPax both games. Game 1, MaxPax, he went Mass Phoenix into Mass Void Ray. Game 2, we saw a more flexible ground army instead, going into charge loss, into disruptors as well. Spirit more or less has done more of the same, just a biotank. Both game 1 and in game 2 did have different openers, true. If you remember, game 1 he went for a 2-1-1, game 2 and 3cc 2-1-1, so did have a greedier build last time. But still biotank. I expect to see mech at some points, but not yet. Ooh, as MaxPax will take the closer natural. Hello, Nikita. What's going on? What is going on? As SKillous, he does throw down the proxy pylon. Cybercore back at home. This does look like a proxy Stargate. This would be an ideal position for Stargate play. We'll see if that's the plan. Meanwhile, Spirit going for a Rax Expand into his factory, standard opener, likewise Stargate opener out of, yeah, SKillous. It is going to be the proxy Stargate. The goal here should be oracles. Should be oracles right into the mineral line, right into the economy. MaxPax, he is scouting, does confirm the second pylon. Yeah, that's scouting, looking for the proxy. Spirit, he does check, does find the probe, that's a tell. Does find the worker here, does recognize that a pylon should be nearby. Is checking and scouting, looking for the third pylon. Meanwhile, back at home, Elazer standard opener. Hatch gas pool, pulls out of gas. Oracle's on the way. And I believe Spirit, yeah, he didn't confirm. He chased the probe, but he might believe that he was able to stop the proxy before it really got going. As the Oracle's on the way. And back at home, we have reactor to helium production. We have a handful of Marines that are going to be available. That damage is going to be done. Meanwhile, MaxPax opens Oracle. Does open up with his own Oracle. SKillous, he rallies in, goes to the mineral lane. SCVs are going to be going down. It's 1, he gets 2, he gets 3. 3 SCV kills already. MaxPax, he shades in. Did I say 3? Getting him to 4, getting him to 5. Oh, this is getting out of hand. Yeah, 5, almost 6 SCV kills. Almost 6 SCVs go down. Oracle backs off. Elazer defends. And MaxPax does open Phoenix. Phoenix into Twilight Council, most likely into charge. Okay. I see you. Overlord does confirm the Twilight Council. Overlord is aware. It's not going to be Mass Phoenix. Ooh, and Elazer is link flooding. Okay. Elazer, he's flooding. Spirit's moving out. Oracle's across the map. Spirit making his way towards SKillous' bases. And Elazer just floods straight towards Spirit and MaxPax. There's the recall. SCVs are going to be going down. Hellions are forced back by the Oracles. Zings. Oh no, they get us around! Oh, the Bio Army does not get into the bunker. Brutal pickoff. Marines do fall. Likewise, Phoenix doing what it can. SKillous will take the win, will take the fight. Spirit trying to make use of these Hellions, trying to find some damage. I shouldn't be able to. Yeah, shouldn't be able to. It's going to be cleaned up. Likewise, across the map, Lings, they hit the mineral line once again, making sure the Spirit just cannot mine. MaxPax is mining freely from a 2-base economy. Spirit is not. Spirit is still building up. Meanwhile, Roach Horn on the way. Elazer, a little more aggressive than I'm used to seeing, to be honest. Like Ling Flood into Roaches. Not taking up into Hydra Lurker this time. It's going to be a little more early aggression from Elazer. Oof. Fire shot going off. Spirit, I mean, Spirit's natural and his main base is just being bullied so hard. This entire game, like Spirit, he's just trying to mine. He just wants money, but oh my god. Leave Spirit alone. On the one hand, it means that MaxPax, for the most part, has been untouched. That's why he's able to get a third. Like, MaxPax, he's building up and he's maintaining himself, but the Spirit has been struggling. Has been struggling that much more. There's going to be that 1-1-1 follow-up. Elazer, he's cutting workers. He's not fully saturating his third base. He's building up Roaches and he's pushing. He's going to knock down those rocks. Likewise, SKillous throwing down the proxy pylon to reinforce. It's going to be an all-in. Spirit is going to be a 2-base all-in. Sorry, I keep saying Spirit. SKillous is going for a 2-base all-in. And Elazer is going for a 2.5. 2.5 bases, just pure Ling Roach Ravager. They spot the army knocking down those rocks. And Spirit, he doesn't really have much to work with here. He's got 2 tanks. He's got 2 tanks and a handful of Marines. Army's pushing in. Tank is exposed. And it should be piled down. Oof. Yeah, the tank falls. MaxPax is on his own. Second tank is going to fall as well. Those are the only 2 tanks. Meanwhile, these are vanilla Marines. There's no stim. There's no stim. There's no combat shields. The Marines go down, and now it's a 1v2. Now it's MaxPax versus both Elazer and SKillous. And again, Spirit, he was a non-factor in this game. He was just abused the entire game, both in the main and in the natural. He just could not build up, could not get his economy going, and the third base does fall. And GG gets called. SKillous and Elazer, they take a lead in the series at 2-1, 1 game away from becoming this month's champions. GG. Whew, oh my god. GG, well played. And this is something that does happen from time to time in 2v2, is that one player gets targeted. Whether it's intentional or not, Spirit straight up, like, he just couldn't mine from any of his bases. We had Oracles harassing the main base, we have Lynx harassing the natural, he was just getting pulled apart. MaxPax, he was defending in his own way. MaxPax, he was defending by counterattacking. He was trying to force the attention of the opposing team on defense instead, trying to force them back home, but it wasn't really too effective, unfortunately. He had open Phoenixes and, Oracle into Phoenix, and he was really only stuck trying to keep up with the Oracles of his opponent. of SKillous. Wasn't able to. GG. GG, well played. And with that, we're getting into our next game. We're getting into Rescalia. Let's go. Coin flip. I wouldn't necessarily say a coin flip there, but yeah, it was just Spirit just being abused to the point where Spirit couldn't keep up. He couldn't really assist in the defense because of the amount of economic damage he was sustaining. So another coin flip, just like intentional damage, of course, and it meant that MaxPax could not keep up on his own. And with that, so we're getting into our next game. We're getting into our next setup here. As spawning in the top left-hand corner of Rescalia, we have our Protoss and Zerg duo. We have for Team Liquid, Elazer and SKillous. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have their opponents. We have the reigning champions of the 2v2 circuit. We have Spirit and MaxPax. Here we go. Now, coming into Rescalia, as opposed to the previous map, another factor that I should say that comes into how difficult it was to defend is how isolated the main base are. Remember, in that last game, the two players, they don't share the main base, they were separated from each other, so it was more difficult to defend. Here, we have a shared main between MaxPax and Spirit, and of course a shared natural as well. So I would say it is easier to defend. The main base is still quite large, that is true, so it can be awkward to assist your teammate, assist your partner, but easier than the previous map, as you are a lot more isolated from your teammate. So it should be easier to defend, as both players are expanding. Likewise, SKillous does take his own setup, or does go for his own setup, gate into Cybercore, into expansion. We do see SKillous going for a fake proxy pylon. I mean, there is a proxy pylon, don't get me wrong, but it is on his own side of the map. So this could be another Stargate opener, just a little bit more standard. Meanwhile, 2x Reaper out of Spirit. Let's go. Does open 2x Reaper. Meanwhile, hatch gas pool here out of Elazer. They do confirm. There it is. As we mentioned, it is going to be proxy Stargate, but this is more standard, this is less aggressive, has potential for some damage, that is true, but isn't going to hit as hard or as fast. Meanwhile, my apologies, I assumed it was going to be 2x Reaper. It's going to be 2-on-1. Very early 2-on-1 out of Spirit. Okay, so Spirit, he is rushing into the tech lab and rushing to a stim timing. So really fast stim out of Spirit. He may even throw down a third Rax just to produce even more Marines. Very aggressive build here, and we'll see if the opposing team can figure it out. As we do open Phoenix. So Phoenix opener out of SKillous. MaxPax opening up Stargate as well. Most likely into Oracle. So I do favor SKillous here in this position. SKillous, he will have a Phoenix lead over MaxPax, which is going to be a big factor, as here comes that Oracle. But the X factor here is going to be Spirit. Like, Spirit with that early stim timing is, I mean, there's a lot of potential. You can see he's going not for a third Rax, he's going for the factory, into the starport, into Medivacs. But Spirit, he can actually be a little bit more influential here in this game. As last game, Spirit was the punching bag. Like, he was he was just taking all the hits, taking all the blows. As in the Overlord. Overlord scatter is going to be denied. Overlord does confirm the mass amount of Marines. That is very unorthodox at this level, at this stage of the game. So more or less, the red team has a better idea of what's going on. Oracle is revealed. The Phoenixes likewise about to reveal themselves to the Oracle. It will force a recall. Nice hull damage. The being from MaxPax lets Spirit know that of course there is Mass Phoenix. And they have to set up instantly turrets. Turrets are on the way. Turrets in the mineral line, in the natural, soon to be in the main as well. They will finish up in time. And Spirit is ready with Stim. He's ready back at home. Meanwhile, SKillous does hit MaxPax. Marines, they stim over to respond. SKillous doesn't find any damage. Oh, gets a Stalker. Gets the one Stalker. Forces out a second stim. Gets out with the Phoenixes. Lings, they do slip into the main. Yeah, they slip into the main base, slip into the mineral lines. No major damage yet, though. Yeah, they just get a full scout. They shouldn't get any SCVs. Spirit holds. Spirit, he does hold. Lings, they're locked in. Locked into the main base. Catching out a couple of workers, but I'll be honest, this Phoenix opener hasn't really done too much damage here. We've killed, sorry, my apologies, I say that 8 probes did go down, but at the same time the Oracle popped off and we've seen 10 workers falling for SKillous. So it just hasn't really been worth it. Just now getting another expansion. Oh, and here comes the push. We've been working towards this. Here we go, the 2-on-1, 2 full medevacs, full of Marines, full of stim and combat shields. Spirit, again, he was just a non-factor in the last game, but this time he moves in. This time he moves in, does scan, allows for the blink. Lings, they attempt to punish, but the Marines, they support from the low ground. Yeah, they shut down the Lings. They threaten to drop into the main. Phoenixes, they deny the drop. SKillous is keeping up. You can see Elazer going for a Spire, going into Lingbane Muta. Okay. Taking towards Mutas. See if he can. Spirit, just ferrying over into the main base. Oh, we'll lose a full medevac. Full medevac goes down and running out of Marines. But he still trades very well here against these Lings. Lings, they just melt. Stalkers push in. And this is getting out of hand. This is getting out of hand at this point. Getting into the mineral line. Bleeding out far too many Lings, far too many Stalkers. Again, there's no other tech behind this. There's no Roaches, no Hydras. Just pure Ling out of a laser. And he just can't engage. He has no Banelings. No Banelings whatsoever. The base is going to go down. Massive pick off. They break the natural of SKillous. Spirit going for a further dive, takes down the shield battery. Doesn't get surrounded, he kites back in time. Still the stasis, does focus on both Phoenixes. Oh. Yeah, takes down the Phoenixes, and once again the Lings, they just cannot engage, not into this mineral line. The terrain just working against Elazer, he just cannot surround. Oh, and they back off, they rotate towards the southern base. And then we'll get another expansion. Just containing SKillous and the Elazer. They cannot break out. And again, the Elazer is just stuck with pure Ling. It just can't really do much here. Not against this kind of army. Lings, they can trade well against Stalkers. You can see MaxPax, he's like, Spirit, what's going on? Say, help me out. Marines, they stim over. There we go. They keep up with the Lings. They try to. Bit of an awkward attack from Spirits and MaxPax. Yeah, a little bit uncoordinated. So MaxPax, he gets punished. Oh. They do clean up all the Lings. And they at least preserve MaxPax's army, at least the bulk of it. Preserve most of the Stalkers. Still pushing forward. And again, without any kind of Baneling support like Elazer, he's having a hard time engaging here. Does take down the tank at least. There goes, surrounds the tank, forces the blink. Spirit, he pulls out. Oh no! We'll lose every single medevac, the full medevac as well. Spirit bleeding out a lot. Again, a very close fight. Supplies are neck and neck. Barely in favor of MaxPax and Spirit. Barely. Whew. And as dust settles, where exactly are we economically? Okay, from the top. Oh, SKillous, he's down to 44 probes. That is a 2 base economy. I mean, he lost the natural. He lost the natural. He does have a 3rd base, which is, I guess, now his 2nd expansion. So SKillous doesn't really have much of an economy. He has been able to build up and preserve these stalkers, but SKillous is struggling the most here in this game. Elazer, he's got a good economy himself, but he's stuck on Ling Muta, which I'm not too convinced by, I'll be honest. Ooh. As Mutas are great to harass, but in a head-on fight, Mutas they can't really do much. Not against Stalker Marine, not like this. So I'm not too convinced here by Elazer's tech choice. You know, Spirit replenishing his fire tank. Again, he's on a solid economy, 70 workers, that's over 3 bases. Getting up to 4, likewise so is MaxPax. So MaxPax and Spirit, their economies are booming and their supplies are about to reflect that. Elazer and SKillous, less so. The longer this goes on, the better it should be for the blue team. Oh, they do catch out the Archons. The Archon's going to be getting picked off. Brutal losses here for SKillous. This base is just so isolated, and there's no saving this. Mutas, they get across the map. They do get into the main. But what about the defenses back at home? As Mutas, they catch Marine reinforcements. Again, there's still 0 banelings back at home. It's just pure Ling. They try to engage. So a nice catting here by Spirit. The Archons, they're putting in a lot of work. 2 Archons go down. Elazer and SKillous, they do force back the army. Mutas are coming from behind. Nice cleanup, not bad. Whew. They catch all the tanks, they force the recall. But at a cost. As SKillous, he barely had an economy to begin with. He will lose another expansion. He will lose another base. SKillous down to 38 workers, under a 2 base economy here for SKillous. In a way, they defended, they survived. But this is almost like the Spirit treatment, actually. If you recall, last game, Spirit, he was targeted. So Spirit, he couldn't really support MaxPax. Here, it's almost the opposite, where SKillous is targeted. Where SKillous, he lost base after base, mineral line after mineral line. And SKillous, he's having a hard time supporting Elazer. I will say that, unlike Spirit previously, SKillous, he has been able to maintain his army, has been hyper efficient. So he's been able to build up a Stalker count. But I'm still not convinced by the Ling Muta, not gonna lie. We see a recall back home to defend against the Lib. The Lings, they hit top right. They go for center expansion. And we just commit to a base trade. We just ignore the Lings. Lings, they will cripple the economy. But MaxPax and Spirit, they just commit. They just commit in. Going for the bases, going for the kill. MaxPax is almost maxed out. Again, Spirit not too far behind him. As Mutas, they try to engage the Marines head on, and they will be able to. Not the best trade here for Elazer. Likewise, drop into the main base. GG gets called. SKillous, he taps out. He's been out for a while, and MaxPax and Spirit, they tie up the series. We are going to the ace match. Whew, GG. We are going to game 5. Whew, oh my god. And again, we see this quite often when it comes to 2v2s, where you can try to target and harass one of the players to make them, to just, again, make sure that it stays more like a 2v1. SKillous there, he never got up to a 3 base economy. Never did happen. He lost his natural, he lost his 3rd base, he just kept losing base after base, mineral line after mineral line. SKillous and Elazer, they would defend, true, they would survive these attacks, but at the cost of SKillous' economy. Every time. And with that, SKillous, he was bullied out. Again, very similar to what happened to Spirit on in Game 3 on Reclamation. And that leads us into the ace match. Leads us here into Game 5. Whew. Likewise, again, I'm still not too fond of just pure Ling Muta from Elazer. Like, I feel like the addition of Banelings would have been so useful for so many of those fights, just to go a little bit better for them. But alas, Elazer was just trying to be as efficient as possible by spending all of his gas into Mutas. But as we saw, Mutas, they don't do too well in head-on fights. They can harass, they can pick off some maybe some harassing units as well, some aggression, but in these big fights, they don't really help too much, as they're quite fragile. And that leads us into the ace match. It all ends here. It all ends on Arctic Flowers. Let's go. Here we go, spawning in the top right-hand corner of Arctic Flowers. We have our red duo. We have our red duo here representing Team Liquid being forced into the ace match. Can they bring it back? It is Elazer and SKillous. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have their opponents. We have the blue duo here of our reigning champions. We have MaxPax and Spirit. Let's go. As we load into Arctic Flowers for the second time tonight, for the second time in this broadcast, again, one of the more vetoed maps in the map pool, there are just a lot of really quirky features. We have these center gold bases that are out in the open. We have these speed zones in the center as well. We have these cliff faces, these points of elevation. It's, yeah, a lot more going on here on Arctic Flowers, and again, we rarely get to see it. So I do appreciate that it's here in the finals. Do appreciate it. So we are going to be opening up. We have our initial probe scout here from MaxPax. Is going to be hatch first out of Elazer, hatch gas pool. Likewise, gate expand, so economic openers from our red team. Meanwhile, here from our blue team, we do have some standard openers as well. Pings confirm timings of bases. And they confirm their setups. Nothing crazy, nothing too wild. Not this time. As SKillous, he doesn't set up for a proxy. Oh, but that is going to be a 2-gate opener. Okay. Interesting. 2-gate opener out of SKillous. With this, he can be a little bit more aggressive. He can be more assertive. He can make 2 Stalkers early on at a time, or even 2 Adepts. So there's a little bit more aggressive potential here for SKillous, as he did delay his tech. You can see with the pings, MaxPax, he does take note. Does recognize the more aggressive start. So your Overlord attempts to escape. Oh no! Does attempt to. Again, this was Marine first, not Reaper first out of Spirit, so he will catch out the first Overlord. Attempts to float away towards that tower, and up, can he get away? Barely can. Oh my god. 10 HP. Do we have anything to deal with this? So far, we don't. Oh, never mind. Here comes the Rax. The Rax is slowly floating over here to shut down that Overlord. It's coming. It's on the way. This also means for the first time in a while, this is not a 2-on-1. We've seen 2-on-1 in the last game, in Game 4 and in Game 3 from Spirit. Not this time going for a 1-1-1 Hellion into potentially Banshee. So Spirit is mixing it up. I think this might even be for the first time this series, actually. Okay. So the first time does open up 1-1-1. The Tech Lab is on the way on the starport, most likely headed towards Banshee play. Meanwhile, Twilight Council opener out of SKillous, not Stargate, working towards Blink. Likewise, Stargate into Twilight Council out of MaxPax as well. No one is going Mass Phoenix. Not this time. So you threaten to shade. Hellions, they try to dive into the mineral line. They work their way in. They're headed for a laser. Lings, they somewhat keep up. Drones are still going to be falling to the Adepts though. So when he gets 3. 3 drones go down. Shades into the main base. SKillous will shut him down though. Oh my god, brutal stasis! Oh my god! Stasis pops off, and with that SKillous, he will take economic damage. Not a bad start here for Spirit and MaxPax. They kill how many? They get 9 worker kills. Oh no! They let up! Oh my god! Just in time! The stasis! Line up with the stasis, more workers go down. Ay, ay, ay. Spirit. He pops off, he roasts off the mineral line. Behind the stasis into the main, Oracle still being active. Dips in, scouting any kind of tech. And remember, we're still not done. It was Hellion into Banshee from Spirit. Stasis into the main. SKillous, he does pull away in time, thankfully. Still does get 3 workers caught. As Hellion aggression continues, we can see MaxPax going for the center gold. Bold move. Banshees are on the way. And I don't see detection here for SKillous. Ooh, no shot. He has no robo. He has no robo. Back at home, MaxPax has plenty to defend. Spirit does support. Now, bearing in mind, 2 Banshees, 1-shot probes. They 1-shot probes, so despite there being a shield battery here, it will not matter. It will not matter. There is a layer on the way for a laser, so he can provide some detection with an Overseer. But I am worried for SKillous. Assuming that the Banshees do hit SKillous instead of a laser. And I believe they will. Let's see, we got the second Banshee has arrived. Now he can 1-shot. And making his way towards the mineral line. Now, if he's late on, that's a bit of a premature cloak, so cloak isn't going to last as long.
I'm here.
Then make their way into the mineral line. Back at home, MaxPax, he secures that gold. And probes are getting 1-shots. Gets 1, 2, 3. He denies any kind of mining here from SKillous. He has to pull away to the spore. Remember, Cloak is going to run out soon. Despite that, this is still brutal damage. That's 20 probes. 20 workers go down. And SKillous Elazer, they're just being pulled apart. They're just being pulled apart at this point. The Hellion aggression, the Oracles, that's a kill, not a cancel. Elazer not paying attention. Again, he was otherwise distracted here by the Banshees with that Overseer. And they just cannot keep up. They cannot keep up. They start with the Hellions, the Oracle, the Adepts, the Banshees. Just doesn't stop. And now they have the gold. They have the gold base. Spirit getting a 3rd. MaxPax getting a 4th. And they are just overwhelming. I mean, shout out to how like synced up both Spirit and MaxPax are, to be fair. Especially when it came to the stasis earlier. Like that was, that was very well lined up. With the stasis and the Hellions. And here comes the main push, and this may just end the game. We can see Elazer trying to mass up Ling Hydra, but he's bled out so much in the process. Hydras are exposed. Tanks sieging up. Elazer trying to take up into lurkers, but it's going to be too little too late. Yeah, MaxPax, he goes for the aggressive blink. He dives in. And there's nothing to stop them. There's a handful of Hydras, a handful of Stalkers. Tanks are delayed. They're going to be slowed down by the force fields, but they're pushing in. They're slowly pushing in. They're slowly sieging forward. The base is going to fall. And just hyper aggression this time here from Spirit and MaxPax, showing that they don't have to take things slow. They can speed things up. They can, and they will. See Spirit elevatoring into the main, going for the tech. Hydrogen is exposed. There are 7 lurkers on the way that will help, but it's too late. Yeah, the base is already going down. No more Hydras. Even gateways being depowered. Lurkers have to try to come in from behind. They're going for the tanks. But quick on siege. There we go. Does force the recall. Spirit and MaxPax forced out. Ooh. And in a way, SKillous and Elazer, they barely defend. They do hold. They save the main at least, but really just the main base. As the 3rd base did fall. SKillous and Elazer trying to stabilize, trying to re-expand. And hey, at least Elazer does have lurkers. True. The lunkers, they're out. I spoke too soon. They get caught out. 2 lurkers fall. There's still a good amount left on the high ground. How many? 8? 8 lunkers. Oh, not anymore. Yeah, there's no support. Like, lurkers on their own, they do nothing. They do nothing. They get completely shut down. Likewise, Spirit steaming in towards the left-hand side, catching out SKillous. And MaxPax and Spirit, they're about to meet. They're about to meet in the center. As, never mind, MaxPax actually goes to the main. Goes to the main, goes for the kill. GG gets called. MaxPax and Spirits, they will claim the series 3-2, becoming this month's back-to-back-to-back-to-back uThermal 2v2 circuit champions. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations, MaxPax and Spirits. They are undefeated so far in 2v2. They have won in January, February, and March as well, and even in December. In all these months, in all their 2v2 tournaments, Spirit and MaxPax, they have not been stopped by anyone, regardless of their opponents. Players have gotten close, and big shout out to SKillous and Elazer. This is their first time in the finals. It's their first time in the finals, and they forced an ace match. They went all the way to game 5. And there definitely were opportunities for them previously as well. Like, I'm still thinking about, I think of Roscallion. Yeah, I'm still thinking about Roscallion and the style that Elazer had gone for and what they were trying to make work there. I'm still lamenting about that. But there definitely were opportunities, and they played well. They played very well for themselves, forcing the ace match. Likewise, this month, Clem and Trigger were not available. Clem was playing in the TLMC tournament, so he was unable to compete in this event as they did cross over. There was a little bit of overlap between those tournaments, but Skillous and Elazer did make for a good replacement here in the finals. Very nicely done. GG, well played. GG, well played. Just catching up. As much as I want Lincoln to, I mean, they played well. You know, they forced the ace match. They forced the ace match, went all the way to game 5. A very intense, very close back and forth between both teams. But last, MaxPax and Spirit, they still are, you know, the ones to beat. They're still the best 2v2 players in the world. I will say that. Will say that. Spirit is angry now. Exactly. Spirit, he got upset. Oh my god. Didn't want to be bullied anymore. But regardless, GG, well played. Congratulations here to both MaxPax and Spirit. And we'll see if they can ever be stopped. We'll see if anyone can ever bring them down. Again, for those that are curious, this 2v2 circuit here is open. It is open to all players. If you want to take part, if you're more of an amateur player or maybe a 2v2 connoisseur and you have a friend, then you can sign up. You can sign up. This is a monthly tournament. Every single month we do host this uThermal 2v2 circuit. It's going to be going for another couple of months before the finale, before the end of season finals. So do take part, do tune in. It's amazing. It's beautiful. There are plenty of more amateur players that take part in this as well. So it's not just pros, but we have others as well, including, remember, check out our semi-finalists here. It was Larry and Knight. They're not GMs, they're not pro players, but they still made it to semis because they are NA 2v2 specialists. So it was really cool to see them having a deep run, taking down some otherwise pros. So very impressive. Just catching up on the bracket here so we can all have a look together, so we can see the performance of these players. Switching our scenes over. Bam. And there we go. Okay, from the top, we have SKillous and Elazer. To make it to the finals, they took down Bratok and Middle VK. Bratok and Middle, they play a lot of 2v2s together. They had a good run and good performance last time. They took down GG Machine and Shameless, who took down Wayne and Milky Cow. Oh my god. So once again, 2-0 there. They of course took down Cyril and Zugelang in the semis, and they faced off against Spirit and MaxPax in the finals. Meanwhile, we had Cyril Zugelang take down Replicant and Tiger. They took down uThermal and Goblin to make it here to the semis. When it comes to Spirit and MaxPax, what was their run? They took down the Taiwanese team with Lemon and Deer. Again, Lemon and Deer, they've been very active when it comes to these 2v2 events. It's been great to see them pop off. They took down Nick Rat and Geralt. This is a bit of a new pairing, and I remember that there was a lot of hype behind them in the round of 16. There was Nick Rat and Geralt versus Jumi and Young Yakov. I'll try to zoom in a little bit, because there we go. Because I know it's a little bit blurry here. It's a big bracket. yeah, Nick Rat and Geralt, they took down Jumi and Yakov, went all the way to the ace match, an intense back and forth. I know Jumi and Yakov play a lot of 2v2s together as well, but in the end they did meet their end at the hands of Spirit and MaxPax. And then we had the NA team. We had Knight and Larry popping off. They took down quote-unquote Trigger and Clem. There should be a note here. This was the Trigger and Clem team, but as I mentioned before, Clem couldn't play. He couldn't play. Clem at the time, he was playing in another tournament. He was playing in the Team Liquid map contest Wardy event, so Clem was otherwise busy. I think he was playing in the finals against Cure. So Clem couldn't play, so Trigger, he had Coco sub in. Coconut Games did sub in for Clem instead, so that was technically Trigger and Coco. We might want to fix that. We might want to fix that on the brackets. But Knight and Larry, they popped off. Likewise, they also took down Gref and Deathmars, who was also a big team. Bearing in mind that Gref and Deathmars, they took down Showtime and Lambo to make it to the quarterfinals. So that was not an easy win for Knight and Larry. And again, they went down. But again, like this is like these are like 2v2 specialists, and it's really cool to see them doing well. Taking down Trigger, taking down the slayers of Showtime and Lambo. So really, and even against Spirit and MaxPax, I want to say that in game one they could have had that as well. Remember, they all-inned on Emerald City and they almost broke Spirit and MaxPax. It was very close. I can see a world where they could have broken them, where they could have taken them down and at least force an ace match. So I look forward to seeing more of Knight and Larry. Look forward to it, to the NA boys. But GG, well played. Also, thank you so much. Big shout out to Jerry Curl in chat. Thank you so much for the raid. Hope you had a... Oh, there you go. They are GMs. Never mind. When I say GMs, I should have said they're not pro players. That's what I should have emphasized. They're not pros, but they are GM on the NA ladder. But a shout out to Jerry Curl in the chat. Thank you so much for the raid. Hope you had a great stream. Hope you had a great ladder session. Hope you had a great time. And we just wrapped up. Our broadcast. We just wrapped up our 2v2 coverage of the uThermal event. So I do apologize, but thank you so much, and hope you had a great time. Hope you had a great stream. And with that, we are going to be wrapping up here for the day. Again, it's been a pretty intense week of StarCraft so far. It's been a pretty intense week just catching up here when it comes to our weekly schedule. We just wrapped up with our morning broadcast. We don't have a broadcast in the evening, kind of. We are going to be playing some Final Fantasy though. Final Fantasy 14 is going to be on our schedule here for this evening. That's going to be on our personal streams, on my personal stream, Light_VIP. Tomorrow we have the Pondcast. We have Host Masters on Sunday, and we have Sparkling Tunic Up on Sunday as well. Now, I might have an impromptu cast tomorrow. I was just given the replays of the HSL. If you're curious, what is the HSL? HSL is the Hispanic Star League. The Hispanic Star League featuring players from Latino America and from Spain as well. It's almost like GSL, but for the Hispanic region, for the Hispanic player base. So we will be slotting in some of those broadcasts, and that might be the case tomorrow in the morning. I might be able to slide that in. And if I'm able to do so, I'll most likely have a viewer replay cast as well. I know that we do have some viewer replays that have been piling up. I know that that's the only reason why Hyper1 is in the chat. He's like, yo, are we casting my replays? Tomorrow. Most likely tomorrow, papi, tomorrow. Don't worry, we got you. Most likely tomorrow. Aye. Earlier than this time, at a more NA-friendly time, of course. But we have a couple of replays that have been building up. Hyper1. Muchas gracias, mis saludos desde Cochabamba, Bolivia. Oh, de Bolivia, papi. Oh my god. Gracias, papi, gracias. Bienvenidos. Ya terminamos, papi, ya terminamos. But thank you so much for the raid, and welcome all those from Jerry Curl's stream. But yes, should be able to have a viewer replay cast tomorrow, and again, that should be alongside some HSL coverage as well. There's a lot of groups in the HSL, so there's a lot to cover, a lot to go through. We'll be beginning that tomorrow, most likely. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. We're going to be wrapping up for the time being. Again, it's been an intense broadcast, and I would love to get some breakfast. I'm gonna get some breakfast, gonna get some food, and have some catching up to do when it comes to work, editing VODs, scheduling VODs. If you are curious, if you want to tune in to more CranKy Duckling action, then we got you covered. ! Socials in the chat, and you will get a link to our social medias. We do post on YouTube on a daily basis. If you see something here, if you want to watch like the Kung Fu Cup, if you want to watch the Rex March Madness, Turtle Tussle, the Pigasaur Monday, Wardy TV Mondays, any of this, and if you can't watch it live, check us out on YouTube, because all the VODs are uploaded to YouTube on a daily basis. It's all there, all ready for you. So check us out on YouTube. Otherwise, you can also support us via Patreon. Our Patreon is designed to fund our open tournaments, specifically our amateur events and Sparkling Tuna Cup as well. All funded via Patreon, so you can help us grow the scene, grow the community, grow some StarCraft. The players would appreciate it. Currently, our next goal is to boost the prize pool for our amateur tournaments. So if you want to help support us, if you want to help support StarCraft, you can do so via Patreon. Thank you. Thank you so much to all of our current patrons. Thank you. We've been getting a lot over the past couple of months, more than we have in what, 5 years? It's crazy the amount of support that we've been gaining. So thank you so much for all the support on Patreon. We do appreciate it. And thank you, even if you just watch StarCraft, if you enjoy the content, thank you so much as well. We'll see you guys tomorrow for some podcast. So tomorrow's going to be the podcast tomorrow evening, and again, most likely there's going to be another broadcast around this time tomorrow as well, earlier I should say, like maybe like 5 hours ago. Should be live with some HSL if all goes well. That is the plan. Wonderful content. Thank you. You're welcome, Bab. You're welcome. Esther Yoko in the chat. Oh my contact. Oh Mike contact even. And Robert. Thank you. Thank you so much. With that, we're gonna be wrapping up. Stick around. We're gonna be giving another StarCraft streamer a raid. Who is live? I know that Practice X is live. I can see some others as well. Davito streaming? Yo, Perhark as well? Yo, what's with all the Peruanos, Fabi? There's a lot of Peruvian players streaming right now. But I can't remember the last time Davo has streamed. Yo, we gotta rate Davito. Let's go. Oh my god. He's looking a little bit older. I haven't seen Davo in a couple of years actually. For those who don't know, Davo, he is a Peruvian Terran player. He can speak some English 100%, so he should be able to commune with us. It's all good. But Davo, he's a Peruvian Terran player. He's living in Chile, and at one point he was almost on the CranKy Ducklings. We've told this story before. But for the CranKy Ducklings, a couple of years ago, we did actually have a Latin American roster. We were earning enough money to actually, pay his salary for some players, and we could only afford one Peruvian Terran, and it was between Tavo and Neo, and they're both like brothers, basically. They're both really good friends, both in Chile, of course, and both Peruvian even, and both really good friends, or both on the same team, and we could only get one of them. In the end, we did lean towards Neo. We were a little bit closer with Neo, but Tavo, he's near and dear to our hearts. Almost a duckling. Almost. But it's a good friend. Give him some love, give him some support. We'll see you guys next time. Tomorrow for the podcast, or whenever is the next broadcast. See you then. Until next time, hasta luego. Ciao, papi, ciao. Hasta luego.